What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Cantina Talk. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be going over every piece of footage that we currently have of Kelnacca and what really happened to him in the Acolyte. I have uncovered some interesting things that I think will blow a lot of you away. Quickly, I would just like to ask that you like and subscribe. We are quickly approaching on 3,500 subscribers, and my goal is to hit that by June 26th. But without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Alrighty, so we know that there's going to be a fight with Kelnacca in episode 7 of the Acolyte, but there's a lot that'll be happening in that week's episode altogether. I haven't covered a bunch of plot points in this video, so this is your spoiler warning for episode 7 of the Acolyte. I would also just like to add that I was the first person to uncover Shin Hati's unconscious body in a TV spot for the Ahsoka show when it was releasing at the time, so this is my bread and butter. Once again, in case I am right about any of this, you have been warned. So with this week's episode, we were left on a cliffhanger, and we know that Master Kelnacca is dead. Luckily, we will still see him later on in the show, mainly in episode 7, and we will finally be getting some answers as to what really happened that night on Brendok. But if you want to know everything about next week's episode, go ahead and click in the top right of your screen here to watch that video. So with Kelnacca showing back up later on in the season, I have taken all the clips from the TV spots and trailers that we currently have, and have compiled them into a 15-second trailer in what I believe to be chronological order. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer for you all now, and then I'll be breaking it down afterwards. Okay, so we start off with this first shot of Kelnacca turning his head, and we can see his face and eyes very clearly here, and his eyes are blacked out, just like how Mother Anastasia had done with Torbin. And with Torbin, she had said, if you want your Padawan returned to his right mind, I suggest you all leave. This is extremely telling just by itself. What this means is whoever succumbed to this spell is under complete mind control, and they don't have any control over what happens to them or others whatsoever. So to circle back to Kelnacca, we can see that he is under the same spell. I think this almost goes without saying. He's a Jedi Wookie that is pissed off and mind-controlled and being forced to kill his fellow Jedi. This is going to be insane and terrifying. But before I get carried away with how insane this is going to be, let's just move on. In the next shot, we see Kelnacca jumping and leaping towards Padawan Torbin. If you look closely at the bottom left-hand side, we can see Sol here on the ground recovering from him fighting Kelnacca. I'll have more on that in just a little bit. When Kelnacca lands, Torbin tries to move out of the way as he stumbles and falls over. While Torbin is trying to get up, we can see that Kelnacca is about to force push him back into the wall behind him in the shot of Kelnacca's foot landing with Torbin on the floor. That is the wall that I am talking about. I'll have more on that in just a second. The next shot is of Sol jumping through the air over the top of Kelnacca's saber as Sol is about to swing his saber and block Kelnacca's strike. You might be asking, wait, shouldn't this be before Kelnacca jumps over to Torbin? No. I thought so at first too, but it's not. If you look closely at the background here, there's a cylinder here. I know it's not a moisture evaporator, but to play devil's advocate, I'm going to call it that for reference. Pay close attention to where it is in this shot. Along with that, pay attention to this blue right here on the top right-hand side of your screen. Now let's go back to the shot of Sol kneeling as Kelnacca jumps. Look at where Torbin is. There is that blue light that I was talking about. We can also see here that the moisture evaporator is there, but it very quickly gets obstructed by Torbin's body. We will move to the next shot of Torbin on the ground with Kelnacca standing over top of him. If you look to the far left side here, you can see the same blue light that I had mentioned before. So with all that being said, once Kelnacca force pushes Torbin, Sol will either run or jump his way back over to Torbin, and that is when Kelnacca and him will be swinging at one another. Now, with the next shot we have Kelnacca using both hands this time to force push Sol and Torbin. There also could be others here, but we haven't seen anyone else present yet, so for now I'm going to be saying it's these two. If you look closely to the right of Kelnacca, once again, you can see that same blue light, and if you look underneath his left arm here, you can also see the moisture evaporator. This means, based on where he's standing, that this is after Sol jumps over him with his saber. From there, we will move on to the shot of Kelnacca squeezing Torbin's head as he's trying to crush it. If you look behind Torbin here, this is the same exact wall I was talking about before. I'm also assuming that this is after the force push based on the fact that Sol isn't present and Kelnacca is able to do this. If Sol was still actively trying to fight Kelnacca, he wouldn't have been able to get a hold of Torbin like this. I think Sol was knocked out from the force push and Kelnacca had walked up to Torbin as he was recovering from the push himself. This is where we will, without a doubt, see how Torbin gets a scar, and I'll have more on that in just a little bit. The second to last shot is of Torbin looking extremely pissed off as he takes off on a speeder. The right side of his face is obstructed here, and I believe that this is after Kelnacca gives him the scar. We can also see that Torbin's speeder is hauling something behind it. I'll have more on that in just a second as well. Moving on to the final shot, if we slow it down, we can see Kelnacca on the right hand side on a speeder. There's also a second person on that speeder, and it looks like they're being pinned down. At first, I thought this was Torbin, but the hair looks to be darker, almost black, and I believe that this is Sol based on the haircut and color. The person chasing Kelnacca on the speeder is Torbin. The hair and hair color match as well, and the speeder he is driving looks to be elongated, almost like it's hauling something behind it. With that, we also have the shot of Sol and Indara. This is definitely the same exact spot where they were just fighting. If you look at Sol's face, it's definitely roughed up, so I'm assuming Kelnacca is subdued here, and Indara is stumbling upon Torbin and seeing his face. I would love to hear what you guys think though. Let me know in the comments down below. Well, that is the end of the trailer footage that we have, but there is one more thing that I have to go over since we've technically already seen it. This is going to be a shot from the end of episode 3 when Torbin, Sol, Osha, and Indara are on Sol's ship as they head to Coruscant. If you look at the right hand side of the screen here, we can see Torbin's bloody face. His eye definitely has a gash going over it, and the shot in the episode was blurred for a reason. This wasn't my doing, but this clarifies that whatever happened to Torbin's face will be revealed later on with episode 7. You might also be wondering, how do I know it's episode 7? Well, solely off of the fact that the director who directed episode 3 is the same one who directed episode 7, so we will without a doubt be revisiting the setting in episode 7. I'd honestly be more shocked if we didn't. But that is all I have for you all. I'm extremely excited for next week's episode, episode 5, as well as episode 7 in 2 weeks. We will finally be able to get some answers. I would love to hear from you all in the comments down below on what you think of this video. Joe from Jar Jar Jargon and I will be going live tomorrow for Cantina Jargon, so make sure you like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss that live stream. Without further ado, I will see you all in the next one, and lastly, may the Force be with you all.